There is a universe so small that it could literally fit inside this screen. There is another so vast that it would make ours look like a pocket universe. A tiny marble stored in a drawer. There is a universe with far too many dimensions for us to count them all. Another one doesn't have enough. Another one even holds the secrets of folded time. Inside a structure that is impossible for us to imagine, geometrically speaking, there is a universe where the strong nuclear force is far too weak and the weak force is far too strong. The unstable stars there burn through their fuel too quickly. This prevents the formation of more complex elements, the formation of planets, life, and even the internet. There is a universe with only 2 dimensions of space. A flat universe where things can only go from right to left or from top to bottom. A universe without depth, where there is neither front nor back. There is a universe in which no star has ever been born. Another one is extremely heavy, but in which no sun is able to ignite. Another one where all the stars have long since burned out. There is a universe in which the emergence of intelligent life forms is strikingly commonplace. These forms are built around carbon, iron, aluminum, as well as silicon. There, you find creatures made of crystals and others shaped from microscopic drops of water. Some draw their strength from the fire of movement, while others breathe in air to fuel their digestion. Each of these advanced species sees itself as unique and central to everything. All of them have imagined and invented gods to give themselves meaning, justify their power, and explain the reason for their existence. And these living beings fight and wage war to seize power and give it to the gods they believe they brought to life by starting to believe in them, without knowing that the latter have long since moved away after learning that they exist. Another universe filled with life, where the parameters of the laws of nature fluctuate so wildly and chaotically that they become impossible to understand. And every form of life, no matter how intelligent, is forced to do without any technology. There is a universe in which stars never formed enough metals, nor elements that make up crystals, and on the light planets with necessarily soft cores. Where intelligent life forms appeared, there was never any Stone Age or Iron Age, and those who live there are forced to transform their world without tools. There is another universe in every way identical to ours, except that the value of the electromagnetic force is 1,000,000 times weaker than it is in ours. All electrons there have collapsed onto the atom's nucleus. Here, no molecule can exist. The cosmos there is without chemistry and forever without life. There is a universe where, on the surface of billions of planets, just as many forms of complex life have appeared, with big brains and small egos. And each of these civilizations, after developing unimaginable technologies and marvelous tools, driven by curiosity and the desire to share their discoveries, turned toward the stars. But every attempt at communication has gone unanswered. No one has ever replied. Because in this universe, light, which has mass, moves at a snail's pace. And these billions of civilizations, driven by the hope of an encounter, will forever remain unable to communicate with each other. Here, others exist, but they are alone too. There is a universe in which a form of life interested only in physics and philosophy is about to find the meaning of life. When suddenly, in the sky, the stars begin to draw closer, the fabric of space-time contracts, the universe shrinks until it finally bounces back on itself, and in the process, everything starts over again. There is a universe so heavy that after just a few thousandths of a second of existence, its expansion is already over, and there it is, collapsing back to carve a gaping hole in the void. In another universe, everything is so light and fleeting that it occurs in the blink of an eye. The expansion accelerates, space-time stretches so rapidly that everything starts to fall apart, and even matter itself ends up being torn apart. Here, no structure will ever form, and this universe keeps growing on and on for all eternity. There still exists a dead universe, devoid of matter and perfectly still. Space-time does not expand there. There is nothing there, nothing forms there, nothing happens there except for the passage of time. One in which the arrow of time is reversed. Another where its flow rate is not continuous, where it progresses by leaps that vary and fluctuate over time. And in this one you can exceptionally age by an hour per year, or by a year in a second. Another one where, through the random workings of selection, a single unique species endowed with reason has overcome the enormous, extraordinary distances of space and time to colonize the stars. Having managed to conquer death and end war, this species colonizes this universe until the end of time. But this success has the bitter taste of sadness. Because through a strange path in their evolution, no individual of this species has ever been endowed with emotion. There is a universe in which all particles have a single and identical electric charge, and this universe, richly endowed with matter, is nevertheless terrifyingly boring. Because here everything repels, nothing touches, nothing bonds. There is a universe perfectly suited for the emergence of life, except that it is devoid of gravity. Here too, nothing bonds, nothing is created. Everything floats there for eternity. And in this joyful mess of universes, too heavy or too light, too unstable, small or large, hot, cold, empty or full, at least one of them is perfect for us. The laws of nature there seem finely tuned to allow star-rich galaxies to form, giving rise in their wake to whole systems of planets. And on at least one of them, for billions of years, life, having the right ingredients, evolved until it produced a form aware of its privileged position. To be born as a living being intelligent enough to realize that it is alive and intelligent. Namely, that of a human looking up at the sky and wondering, seriously, what the hell is going on? There is another universe that has exactly the same history as this one. Except that on a planet identical to ours, 66 million years after an asteroid nearly missed it, there's a bunch of philosopher dinosaurs asking themselves the same question. Seriously, what the hell is going on? In short, there probably exists a multiverse vast enough to contain, like a library of Babel, reality itself. A phenomenal quantity, an infinity of other possible universes, with different laws and destinies, some hostile and barren, others welcoming and home to countless living beings. Universes filled to the brim with things that even our wildest imaginations could never conceive. And others perfectly empty. And if you don't know what to think of this video, remember that there's a universe where you hate it and another where you love it, with every shade of possibility in between. And to look into the different types of multiverses that exist and try to show that another one probably exists, I'll see you in a week and in this very universe. Meanwhile, remember, in another universe you subscribe, share and follow me on Insta. There's yet another universe where on large scales, reality starts warping into the shape of a sink and the real itself begins to contract. There's another universe where you support me on Type E. There's even a universe where this video doesn't end right now.